setting off on the most crucial test of their course. These trainee rangers have to catch mock poachers planted in this nature reserve in Limpopo province. Coordinating with other teams, they have to track down the poachers and arrest them just as they would in a real-life situation. It's part of an intensive 45-day anti-poaching training program, which involves spending time in the bush in order to learn the terrain.
During this training, you are going to experience how to handle firearms competently, and also how to follow up human tracks and understanding the behavior of the animals.
Lukeleni says there's an increasing need to have rangers receive this military-style training to square off against armed poachers. Last year, 499 rhinos were poached in South Africa, mostly in national parks. For decades, the country has been fighting to protect the critically endangered animal, a popular target for poachers for their horns. The trafficking of rhino horns is big business. It involves multinational criminal syndicates, unscrupulous wildlife officials, and corrupt government officials. Wildlife Justice Commission, a conservation agency, estimates that in the past 10 years, up to $1 billion has been generated from the illegal trade. Rhino poaching is driven largely by demand for horns, which are used in traditional medicine in some Asian countries. This despite the lack of scientific evidence to support claims about their medicinal properties. Alongside South Africa, Mozambique, Vietnam, China, Malaysia, and Hong Kong also dominate trafficking routes. Vincent Barkas is a conservationist. He says at one time the majority of the poachers in this region came from Mozambique, and members of these marginalized communities are of special interest to international criminal syndicates because they have sophisticated wildlife tracking and hunting skills. Barkas says economic development is key to stop people being lured into a life of poaching. He works with the Wild and Free Foundation, an initiative that uses football to empower young people and promote conservation.
There was no community work, no thought of community work, anything like that. What conservation was like in South Africa, it was there for rich white people to enjoy. It was excluding black people, and that was causing this conflict. I've learned, to protect rhino, we've got to put people first.
Back at the anti-poaching simulation, the trainee rangers locate the mock poachers. With just a few days before graduation, they explain why they signed up for the course.
Wildlife brings me a lot of joy. I love the nature, and I'd want my kids to be able to share that, future generations as well. And if we don't protect the wildlife, then we're losing one of the best natural resources that we have.
You'd find that the person kills a rhino with its cub and cuts the horns and leaves them like that. It made me really sad, and so I wanted to be in the front line, boots on the ground, to protect them.
But in the face of so many threats, there is some good news. Last year, the International Union for Conservation of Nature said black and white rhino numbers across Africa had increased by more than 5% for the first time since 2012. And it's statistics like these that provide the inspiration for conservationists to continue to fight. Ntshepeng Motema, Africa Matters, Hoedspruit, South Africa.